Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, and this rumor that they are heading for divorce. And this is In Touch Weekly coming out with this tea. So don't hit me with your situations, Miss Hanifa. I don't make the news. I just report it. So Ben Affleck apparently has hit a breaking point with Jennifer Lopez and has moved out of the home they share. This is what a source exclusively tells In Touch. They said the writing is on the wall. It's over. They're headed for a divorce, and for once, Ben's not the. Wait, was Ben to blame the last time? Because I feel like Ben and her did not work out because of the fame and all that other stuff that was going on, and he didn't want to be a part of that. Like, he's someone who is, I love the creative aspect of Hollywood. And people always say like, oh well, if you don't like the business, then you need to leave. And it's like, no, not everybody. So, I'm sorry, but not, and we'll get to the article in a minute, but not everybody wants to be Kim Kardashian. Meaning they love, being a fame whore and all that stuff. Not everybody wants to be Kylie Jenner. Not everybody wants to be Jennifer Lopez, where it's like you do the thing, Hollywood, movies, music, whatever the case is, but you also like the pomp and circumstance of the business, which is the paparazzi, taking pictures, tipping off TMZ to let everybody and people know where you at, so that way they can come in and ask you these pre-scripted questions or whatever the case is. And everybody likes that. Ben Affleck gives me like, he's an actor, he's a director, he's an artist, he's someone who's from Boston, a blue collar guy, whatever it was. The whole image of him, I don't necessarily know if he is a real blue collar person, but the image of Ben Affleck gives me blue collar tees. And to me, he just seems like someone who, I'll do what I need to do. Like I'll work in the machine of Hollywood, which is when it's time to promote a movie, I'll go out and I'll do my interviews or whatever the case is. I'll pose on the red carpet if I'm promoting, whatever movie or whatever issue or whatever cause. But all the extra stuff with the paparazzi taking my pictures everywhere or following me wherever I go and putting my business all over in the tabloids, I don't like that. I like the artistic aspect of Hollywood. I like making my movies. I like writing scripts. I like directing. I like acting. That's what I do. Everything else, I don't like all that shit. But you should have known if you was going to get with this lady, that's what you're going to have to, you either shit or get off the pot or find a way to like remove yourself from that situation. But anyway, they said fans have noticed that Ben and Jennifer have been spending increasingly amounts of time apart in recent weeks. The actor did not attend the Met Gala with his wife on May 6th, despite her important position as co-chair of the event. Ben's official excuse for missing the Met Gala was that he was busy filming The Accountant 2, but In Touch's source said he decided to call it quits on his marriage to the A-list singer, saying he's focusing on his work and kids now, the insider adds. Ben already moved out and they'll likely have to sell their dream house they spent 2 years searching for. They'll never stop loving each other, but she can't control him and he can't change her. There's no way it could have lasted. Probably because they both Leos. And no shade to the Leos. I told you, I know a lot of Leos in my family. Y'all are controlling. A lot of y'all like to have things done a specific way. And they said an ongoing problem in the pair's relationship was the different ways they handled the spotlight, with Jennifer embracing media attention and Ben shying away from it. In J-Lo's documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, the Air star admitting, getting back together, I said, listen, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media. Then I sort of realized it's not a fair thing to ask. It's sort of like you're going to marry a boat captain and you go, well, I don't want the water. We're trying to learn to compromise. So it says Jennifer added, I don't think Ben is very comfortable with me doing this, but he doesn't want to stop me. Ben would never try to stifle Jennifer's dreams or tell her she can't do something that advances her career, even though she could be quite controlling of him. Well, it just seems like, look, a lot of time when I be talking about them, the people be feeling like that she's got him whooped. And my thing is, look, as long as y'all mutually respect each other's situation, it's like, I don't like the fame and the pomp and circumstance, whatever, but if you want me to be there for you and support you in any way of what you're doing, then as a husband, I will support you in that way. But don't ask too much of me now. Like, don't ask me to I got to start making out with you on camera because we need to show how much in love we are with each other. It's like, no, I'm not doing all that. Not for no cameras. But if you need me to hold a camera while you get this specific shot or whatever the case was, or if you need me to help you in writing, like helping develop your script for The Greatest Love Story Never Told, whatever it was that musical documentary shit that you was making. If you need me to help you in any way to develop the script in that part, which, child, that script was terrible. And I don't even think Ben Affleck could have saved the writing up in there. Even though he's an Oscar winning screenwriter. Even Oscar winning screenwriters have their bad days when it comes to the writing. It's like, I'll help you out in those other ways. But if you need me to do like extra stuff, like really giving my personality and putting my personal tea out there for these people just to show how much in love we are, I'm not doing that. That's why I loved. Is it safe to say like when Madonna and Guy, which they did, I'm gonna tell you a secret, and then we saw those moments of Guy and Madonna together. Them putting their personal life on the line may have contributed to their divorce eventually, because Madonna, I feel like, is in the same boat as Jennifer Lopez, where they love the spotlight, they love the attention, they're huge stars, but they got into relationships with people who kind of have like that whole blue collar mentality. And I feel like there were times where, even though I haven't seen Jennifer Lopez do it, I do feel like at times Madonna did try to find a way to be like this demure British home Susie Homemaker type, like just the aesthetic. But at the end of the day, Madonna was going to do what Madonna was going to do with her career. Like, you can't stop her. She's too big of a star where she was going to have to dim her light to make him feel better about who he was. And their relationship eventually, ended up not working. But you saw parts of I just feel like when I look back on I'm going to tell you a secret. I was trying to remember how Lord said it in French. But then I feel like, yeah, that the way that whole situation would have worked, I don't feel like that marriage would have worked eventually. And I feel like Jennifer Lopez and Ben are in the same boat, where it's just like, you can't change somebody into what you want them to change them as. If you knew how they were going in, you cannot expect that eventually you're going to change their mind. And I really feel like in relationships, people need to stop doing that. People really need to stop trying to go in and mold their significant others into what they want them to be. Because it ain't going to work. Like me, I'm stubborn as hell. I'm going to constantly push back. So they said, unfortunately, compromising ended up being harder for the couple than the couple thought. They waited almost 2 decades to get back together, but in the end, they just couldn't make it work. They both said they matured and learned. I don't believe it. They both said they matured and learned from their mistakes, but some of the bigger issues that tore them apart the first time remained the same. Ben and Jen first dated in the early 2000s and were just days away from tying the knot, and they called their 2003 wedding. And then, they stayed together until January 2004 before ending their relationship officially. And then in 2021, they reconciled, which led to them filing and, the papers and getting married in July of 2022. And here we are in 2024, not even 2 years. It'll be July 2024 that they've been married 2 years. And now they're saying like they're heading for divorce. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but let's entertain the idea that yes, if the whole divorce situation happens, do you think that Jennifer Lopez needs to stop getting married? I feel like in her mind, she still has this whole Disney-fied mentality of, I'm in love, I love love. No, girl, that whole I love love, that's a bunch of BS. You like being in relationships. You are someone who can't last 5 minutes without being in a relationship with a man. You can't be by yourself and it's giving insecurity. Like, she defines her relationships based off of who she's in them with. And I kind of felt like in the beginning, like, I don't want to shit on somebody's relationship, but I just feel like as an outsider looking at their situation, like if you're not willing to change that part of yourself where you have to exercise your ego and not go in and want to continue to harbor the same things you did 20 years ago, it's like, well, yeah, if you know that Ben doesn't like the spotlight and all that stuff all that much, you need to find ways to remove yourself from that. Now, if you on your own doing it, whatever, and then in the paparazzi and someone to follow you, then that's fine. But as far as like the relationship and shit goes, you have to make a compromise in that way. And Ben seems like to be the type of person that doesn't like all that attention. So I'm not surprised that, all this stuff is coming out. They're going to deny it to the ends of the earth. They're going to say that they're not, splitting. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with them. They're like, well, he just is over the relationship. Maybe he is. Maybe she does get up under his skin and drives him nuts. Every time we see him, it looked like he'd rather have all his damn teeth pulled out without anesthesia than be seen around her, because he always looks miserable. He always looks like he's in need of a colonic. Like he always looks annoyed and mad. And then Jennifer always seems like she's always trying to be hugged up on him to save face and make it look like nothing to see over here. We don't have no issues. So maybe what should have happened was y'all should have went and saw a therapist, a priest. You know how the Catholics do. They go to the priest. Or if you are, you're black, you go to your pastor or whatever the case is. Or some people, if they have the coin, they go to a therapist. Y'all should have went and worked all of y'all stuff out. And not, this is me now, the documentary, whatever the fuck that was, where you sit on the couch and Fat Joe is trying to tell you about yourself. And you should have worked out whatever y'all stuff was. And then when you feel like, okay, we worked out our situation and we need to have a pact of being like, what we going to do, whatever in the situation. If that is broken, then we're going our separate ways. Y'all should have did that before you got married. But I feel like Jennifer Lopez is someone, them endorphins get to, sparking when it comes to the pomp and circumstance of a relationship. And then she's in the relationship, she gets bored. So I don't see her. I feel like I see her as someone who's going to be like Whoopi Goldberg, who's going to be like Madonna, who's going to be like so many of these other big name figures where it's just like, you're going to be single for the rest of your life. Like, or if you do get married, it's not going to last because you are that type. I don't even think Taylor Swift, I think Taylor Swift is going to be another one. Her and Travis is not going to last. Trust and believe. They're not. And she's going to write a whole album about him. So I just feel like there's people out here that's destined to be alone. And me, I don't find any problem with that. Like, what's wrong with being alone? Not everybody's equipped to be married. Not everybody is equipped to have their happily ever after. First of all, that happily ever after stuff is bullshit. Stop with the Disney-fied fairy tale stuff. And she needs to get out of that. That lady lives in La La Land. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, or should we call him Bennifer, is Bennifer about to part ways? Like, do you see like this whole relationship, they're going to last the test of time? Or do you think that this is a bunch of hokey pokey mess? Do you think that nobody's surprised about this at all? Like, you seem like, okay, it was only a matter of damn time, but I thought they would have lasted longer than almost 2 years as a couple. Let me know what you guys think down below.